Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com with me as your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. For today's episode, I'm joined by the awesome Patrick Notpicard Stewart. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, Pat?
It's a Full Force Weekly.
Yeah, yes it is. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. What is that?
That's Cobra Commander. It's the plush Cobra Commander look.
Yeah, I was aware. I just wasn't sure where it was from.
This is the Symbiote Studios plush Cobra Commander. He's adorable. He's got a nice chrome mask. This is from, like, we're talking, I think 2021, 22, around that time.
Speaking of plushes from around that time, you know, I finally saw one of the G.I. Joe classified, like, cubes, almost dice-like things that remember we were wondering if those would ever pop up. I finally saw one in a claw machine this week.
Nice. God,
Yeah.
that was ages ago.
It was,
that was like, well, this is 2020, by the way. I got that way off. Hello everyone in the chat as well. Pat, claw machine, my goodness, you've just taken me back about 50 friggin' episodes there. That's nuts.
It was more than that, yeah.
God, it would be. That's probably you're right. That's probably about 100 episodes ago. That's great. My brain can't even operate that information right now.
50 a year roughly. So that would be like a few hundred episodes or 100.
Well, what are we up to now? 215 today? 250?
It's probably like more than 150 episodes though back.
Oh my God. I feel old like talking about this show, let alone you know, how are we 5 years into Classified, mate?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
How are we 5 years?
I mean, a successful toy line is 2 years, really.
I was about to say a successful toy line is like 3 months, isn't it? Usually. Yeah. It's unreal. How long did Master of the Universe Classics go for? That was a good chunk of time, wasn't it?
It was, and then it got extended by Super 7, right?
Basically, yeah. So it never really had that. It never really, I mean, it did have a sort of break because we've had new figures since, but it's always been Master Universe Classics. I always use that as my benchmark of modern sort of toy lines, if you know what I mean, in terms of, like, you know, getting everything you could ever dream of and imagine, because that just seems to keep going. And like the fact they were throwing in like some of those like fan created characters by the end of it, you know, like the ones from back in the day, like, was it Fearless Photog and stuff like that? Yeah. So I don't know,
really, really obscure stuff, but that was to me the sign that it went really well.
Yes, big time. In any case, we do have Classified to talk about today, but it's Pat's favorite topic, unfortunately for him. It is listings information. So we've got some listings changes. So Pat can probably like leave at that point, or like literally throw his laptop out the window. But that won't be till a bit later on in the episode. We've got loads to talk about, actually, weirdly enough, Pat. We've got comics news, we've got statue news, we've got games news, we've got all sorts going on. So I think we should get into it. Should we?
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll start with the comics. Dun, 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 dun. That is such a fun banger. Anyway, Silent Missions Roadblock. We have our first look at a real American hero, Silent Missions Roadblock, courtesy of Skybound. And this one is actually looking pretty dope. I'm kind of interested. It's kind of interesting that there's a very big nod. Was it his introduction to the comics where he shoots a rattler down?
I think it is, yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Roadblock and Duke, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of nods to his like initial like intro in these. So we've got covers and we've got internal pages. So if you don't want any spoilers and you don't want to check it out, obviously you can turn off for a few minutes and come back a bit later. Or just not pay attention, or mute it as well and just not look at the screen. I don't know, whatever you want to do. In any case, we've got the covers. Obviously, we've had the covers for a while now. I believe it's pronounced Cronky, Andrew Cronky, if I'm correct on that one. My apologies if I'm getting that wrong. but this is I love this cover. I think this is really dynamic. I think it's just all sorts, like, just exploding and going on and just roadblock shoot. I mean, this is a beauty in my opinion. I love this one.
Yeah, it's good. The other one, I'm trying to figure out which ones that I need to buy, because as I predicted, I'm way behind on comics. Way behind.
Of course.
It just wasn't going to happen.
No. Well, you're talking 300 something issues, aren't you?
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to keep up with the Skybound stuff. I just didn't. Like, I knew that as soon as anything happened that would require my days off, that I would not be able to spend that day off going to 45 minutes in the correct direction in order to physically buy a comic in person. And it just, it makes things difficult.
It derailed pretty fast.
It did.
But it does. It's like if you miss an episode of a TV show and then you're like, well, I'll and then you a couple of weeks go by and you're like, oh, I'm like 3 episodes behind now. I'm just going to, I'll get it I'll get there when I get there. And you just never find that time and it never appears again. I totally feel you on that one, mate.
Yeah.
Peppermint Space Capsule, thank you so much for the super chat. Darned time zones, my apologies. First time I've got you live in 25. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Thank you very much, Peppermint Space Capsule. Appreciate the super chat. Loads of you in the chat already. Michael Jean Fleming is saying, based on our little conversation at the beginning there, bud, Classified might be the 3rd longest running G.I. Joe line after the original 12-inch and 3 3/4 lines now. Anyone know how long the late 90s, early 2000s classic collection line ran for? That was about like 97 to 2000. Well, and that's broken up as well, though, isn't it?
99. So there was just 97, 98 at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
And then 2000 to early 2002 was kind of the real American Hero collection. I mean, when that got started, it kind of did. You could kind of count it as part of the run that went into 2002.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit separate as well. So really, to me, it was separate. The 2002 through 2005 or 2006. Because 2006. Because I would say that it would be fair to count direct consumer with that. So that was 4 years.
And then we had the 25th kind of take quite a good chunk of time, didn't we?
Yeah, and I think that I don't know. I mean, do you count that as ending because Rise of Cobra began, or do you count that as one big era?
I count it as an era because it's like there's development, but there's shared parts, and also it seems to be like a non-stop. It's just the next phase in the same thing.
And
do you know what I mean?
Characters that were created for 25th were showing up in the Rise of Cobra toy line
easily
as exclusives and things like that.
If what I find here is that you've got like Talons between 25th and Rise of Cobra, and then you've got like connections between Rise of Cobra and Pursuit of Cobra. And then you've got, like, there's not really like a clear distinction at any point. There may be between 25th and like Retaliation, but there's no like, you've got that sort of like connectivity throughout. So it all kind of knits together a little bit. Whereas previously there are nice big chunks of like time and like design changes that are very clear. Whereas 25th to Retaliation is like this kind of, or 25th to 50th. There's this like, you see a design evolution, but it's effectively the same thing.
Yeah, so that would be like 2007 through 2018.
Plus, the club knits a lot of it together, doesn't it? Because that's thing that's utilizing parts and pieces from all different eras and putting them together.
Yeah, which is all we got in 2018, because by then Toys R Us was gone. Right?
Yeah, did you have to bring that up? Do you have to make me sad right now, Pat? Seriously?
Yeah, I did listen to the podcast you were talking about.
How good is it?
Yeah, it was fun. Well, it was kind of fun, but it was also sad.
Oh, right. I see what you mean. Sorry. I thought you were going to say factually incorrect is what I thought you were going to say. And I'm like, this is actually what happened. And I'm like, damn it, Pat, you should redo it.
I don't think I spotted any of that.
No, it's pretty good, isn't it? Because I think what the guy does, or what the team who are on it do, is that there'll be writers and other people involved, I imagine. But like they kind of get all the information together, and then so for anyone that's confused as to what we're talking about, this is a podcast called Business Wars, which kind of historically recreates in sort of radio drama style what happened with a narrative as well running through it between in like these historic kind of things. And obviously one of them is Toys R Us versus KB Toys. And it just talks about both companies' histories, basically, who the people involved, where, you know, how it kind of evolved throughout the years. And it's really cool. It's like a 7-part series, and I just absolutely binged it. But they do other things as well, so it's not just that. There's like loads of other different historic things. But go check it out because it's really good. And I'm glad you listened to that, Pat, because it's really good, isn't it?
It is good. Yeah, I do a lot of podcast listening in my car while I'm traveling. I used to listen to the full force that way.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, even though you're on most of it, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Anyway, go check it out. R Sharp says, "Oh man, I was a manager at KB Toys for 11 years. Rest in peace." That's crazy, wow. Roger. That's crazy. Thank you for your service. Can we say that? Like vets?
Yeah, I wish I had worked at Toys R Us or KB. That would have been a fun thing to have done.
I can also say I worked at Toys R Us through the Rise of Cobra era. So I got to see G.I. Joe product on shelves in the UK for the first time since like the blooming 90s, basically. Wow. I don't think we had retail Joes after 94, 95-ish. I don't think we had retail Joes like in main kind of stores.
Yeah.
So it was a long time. Anyway, by the by, we're talking about Roadblock here, Pat. We also have these covers as well. This is the Jorge Fornes covers, I believe. Let me just double check that because I genuinely do kind of forget every single time. No, it is Jorge Fornes has done the cover B and the cover D as we're looking at it, cover D and cover B from left to right. So the letter one is obviously the connecting cover, the G.I. Joe connecting covers, and Roadblock is O. So we've only got one more first look to go, haven't we? We've had I've forgotten the first one. We've had Jinx, I know, but who do we have first? Completely forgot. I know we've got Spirit as well. That was prior to Roadblock. That was really good. I can't remember the other ones. I've just completely. Someone will let us know in the comments. But yeah, obviously it'll spell out G.I. Joe, and we have
Beachhead.
Beachhead, yes, Beachhead, Jinx, Spirit, Roadblock, and then finally, who's the last one? Who's the last one, guys, in the list? I've completely forgotten. But yeah, we've had Beachhead first, Beachhead, Jinx, Spirit, Roadblock, and whoever the last one is, who I've forgotten. Anyway, let us know in the comments because you have already with Beachhead. So thank you, Airborne Customs, Lightfoot, and Benjamin Yoon. Duke is the last one. Thank you, Cyber. Appreciate it. Right. So then we have the interiors. So we're getting into the interior stuff here, mate. And this is where I'm getting excited because this looks really good. Winter Ops. You've got a Rattler flying around. Obviously, probably going to get shot down by Roadblock at some point. Interesting vehicles going on in that shot as well. We've got the Cobra Wolf, always good to see that in there, and some more other kind of different kind of vehicle, which I kind of like too. Interesting kind of like transportation vehicle.
Yeah, that's a weird looking thing. I mean, it looks cool. Looks like something that I would have wanted to have built.
It's kind of got like interesting tracks, and then it's got like a HISS tank front and just like a big box back. It's really cool. I like that.
I could see that one being one that maybe I would have a chance of building since it's so angular and big and just kind of has parts of existing vehicles on it.
From another angle, it's got like the front of a polar bear sort of vibe, hasn't it?
Oh, interesting.
That is interesting. It's like that's something you could actually make, I reckon.
That is kind of one of the things I enjoy about reading G.I. Joe comics is imagining some of the customs I'll never get around to making.
For sure. For absolute sure. Yeah, it's really cool. We've got like snow serpents, we've got ice vipers, of course. And then we have Roadblock and I think Lady J basically taking them all out. It is by the looks of things. Oh, okay. They're in the polar battle bear. It was a polar battle bear inside a, because you can clearly see that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to actually read this properly.
And that's the
rather
ice
than
snake too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes, the ice snake is in. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. That is very clearly in there as well. And then they get attacked by a rattler as we move through. So they're obviously like taking this particular. There's some sort of MacGuffin here that they're trying to kind of like steal or take back from Cobra, and then you have the rattler kind of flying in and zeroing in on Roadblock as he picks up the Marduce and just absolutely unleashes. But which you don't see that, obviously that's in the front cover. But it looks as though there's going to be a heavy homage to that rattler scene, which is kind of fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nice. Max says Ice Snakes and Ice Saber 2, maybe. Where's the Ice Saber? We've got a wolf and we've got Ice Snakes. I can't see an Ice Saber as well. Anyway, it's fun. Again, we're getting lots. What I like about what Skybound are doing is those sort of little additions. Nothing is too basic and obvious. There's a lot of nice little things, like unused things that you don't really see a lot of, and I really like that. I like that they're dripping those in and around a lot of the stuff that we always see, like, you know, Roadblock and Jay and Snow Serpents and what have you. It's nice to see the other stuff too, and I think that they've been getting, there's been a nice balance of that for me in these. So yeah, really,
that's good. I really need to go get these ones. I enjoy the connecting covers quite a lot.
Yeah, and I think these ones will be like pretty much standalone silent issues, so you probably won't need to know what's going on, you know, elsewhere necessarily. I think these will be nice little standalones, and plus if you get all of them, then you'll have the connecting covers, which will be kind of fun, and you'll have yeah, nice little stories to rinse through because you don't have to read anything. You just have to look at pictures, which I do like that. Am I simple? Yes, a little bit. Anyway, these are great. Looking forward to these. These are all the covers, as we said before. Andrew Cronky and then Jorge Forney doing the covers A, B, C, and D right there. Andrew is also the writer and artist of this issue, with Francesco Segala on colors, and this particular one will be out April 23rd. They're going to be out basically all the month of April, basically. So we're going to get the first one pretty soon, and then it'll just go from there. So we'll get Beachhead, I think, like maybe this week, I want to say. I think it is this week that Beachhead comes out, and then next week we get Jinx, and then the following week. So we're going to get one of these each week, which is awesome. And shout out to Talking Joe, who are going to be doing sort of their reviews on these issues every week as well. So lots of content from Talking Joe to come as well, if you want to check them out too. Right then, next up then, and after comics, we can get into some of the other news, and we'll start with Unofficial Corner, I believe, Pat. We're going to be getting stuck into Gridiron and Fans Hobby. Yes, Fans Hobby have shown off more VE03 development on their Chenouth sort of ore striker, and Gridiron Studios release another hound, this time a Shadow Hound. It's really funny just how many versions of this vehicle we've already got from Gridiron. It's kind of crazy they're churning these out. But we have, yeah, lots of images to get through. We'll start with Fans Hobby, and they've posted some parts and pieces from tooling. So development is moving along nicely with those. And yeah, not really much else to talk about here, Pat. Is there anything you want to add?
Is this something that you build, or does it come pre-assembled?
It'll come pre-assembled. This is a, like, you know, basically from their tooling.
Yeah, because it looks like there's a lot of screws and stuff too, right?
Yeah. This will be pre-assembled. It's just the fact they're just showing you kind of like the development where they are kind of, you know, currently, and then obviously, but there's a good question because, yeah, you see something like that, you think model kit, especially considering if some of them are on sprues
right,
as well, which is pretty interesting, isn't it? But yeah, this will be fully assembled, I believe. Someone in the comments will let us know if that's not the case, but I'm pretty sure that is. But yeah, that's pretty much the update for Fans Hobby. Not much else to go through because we've seen what it is already. So there you go. In any case, we're moving on to Gridiron next. and the Shadow Hound. Now, a few images have popped up that you can actually go online and buy this, link in the description for their website. And they've got a Shadow Hound regular, and they've got a, well, not regular, but Shadow Hound as you see it here, and a Shadow Hound with the EARL or Earl as well. So you buy one or the other. Or I believe you can get the Earl separately as well and just have it with this. It's up to you in that sense. But this looks kind of cool in black, and I guess is an homage to the Ninja Cruiser, right, from Retaliation. And
yeah, that's what I would assume.
Yeah, because they've done this a few times with the Ore Strike, haven't they? We've seen it with Flame Toys, I believe it was called. I still haven't seen one of those in reality. Like, I still haven't seen one of those Ore Strikers. Remember the ones that kind of,
the
little model kits?
Yeah. I did end up finding the Flame Toys motorcycle, the Storm Shadow one.
Did you ever make it?
I haven't, but I was at the model shop and they had so many things, and it was like $15, $14, $15, something like that. I thought that was decent, but it's gone down to that online. So I wonder what the Ostriker costs now.
Goodness knows, honestly, because they went for the black kind of deco, didn't they? They kind of went for that, yeah. And I remember at the time thinking, how cool would it be if it had been this like classified scale, like you could get your figures in. I think it was ever too small, just ever so slightly too small for classified figures. Because you look at the motorcycle with like I think with the Duke figure, and they put it out there, and the motorcycle looked like Krusty the Clown was riding it. So I definitely think in this case, we've kind of gone from not having an Ore Striker to having all of the Ore Strikers from everybody, which I think is the funniest thing ever. Like, it was one of those items that I expected to see way early on from these kind of companies with when you've got the classified series, and we didn't have vehicles per se. No one ever thought we'd be getting the bigger mid-sized sort of vehicles. And then all of a sudden, at the same time, 5 years into the line, finally the Ore Striker's being done, but it's being done by everybody.
Right. Yeah, and of course, I'm sure an official one's coming, but it is nice that there's all these options to begin with. I wonder, kind of the same question, with gridirons, how many pieces come assembled? Because this is a lot of modular stuff too, right?
I imagine the wheels pop on, and then I imagine like most of the rest of it's built, and then you stick the weapon system on the back, maybe put the antenna in. And then you've probably got loads of customizable options with loads of other aspects that you can either utilize or not if you don't want to.
Yeah.
It does look like there's a lot of customizability with the gridiron ones, as you'd expect, because they're all about that,
right,
kind of building it to how you kind of want it. And yeah, if you look at all the different pictures, there are lots of different they look slightly different each time as well. So yeah, I think there's definitely an element of most of it's probably assembled. I would imagine the wheels come separate though. Has anyone actually in the chat? Has anyone managed to get a Jungle Hound so far? How does that come in the box? How much assembly is required, please, and thank you. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, Zorian says this thing has excellent wheels. I was going to say that, but then I didn't. The wheels do look really they look really cool.
Yeah, they look really chonky. Yeah, and really you're right. I love the detailing on the tread as well. I mean, Gridiron do amazing things. Let's they do beautiful vehicles and kits and all sorts. So yeah, it's pretty dope. This does feel a little bit like a Night Force thing. Someone said, Figure Six Pack said that Ore Strikers should be given to Night Force and not the Arashikage clan. Good point. Oh, Blitz says wheels, weapons, and shifter need to be installed. Main body is assembled. Thank you very much, Blitz. Appreciate that. So yeah, wheels, weapons, and shifter. Interesting. Also, I will say on the Fans Hobby version, because we're talking about Gridiron at the moment, but on Fans Hobby, there's a video on their socials showing how the steering works. So there's like you can kind of take the hood off, the front hood thing, and the bonnet, and you can turn the steering wheel, and you can see how it affects the front steering on the wheels. I don't know if Gridiron has steering on this. Do they? I don't know if they do, because every image I've seen, that's all been facing forward. Someone will let us know in the comments, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would have no idea.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, lots of beautiful images of this one. We also get the Earl option with it. Here it is with the Earl attachment as well. A couple of images to show you here with Earl in there. What would you prefer, Pat? Do you like this Earl kind of thing with your striker, or would you prefer that sort of like multi-gun sort of emplacement turret thing?
I think that I prefer the multi-gun emplacement. I do like, though, that there's options, because that just makes everything a lot more fun.
I think I like the Earl when you get the Arctic Hound and you put all the other stuff on it to make it sort of like a sort of snowcat sort of situation.
The fact that they've built everything modular makes it so that it feels a little more than like you're getting more than, well, you are getting more than just a repaint. It's a complete retool and redesign. So you have the option to do two identical things in different colors, or to make it seem like it's something else entirely, which I kind of like that as an option. It's
definitely. Anyway, that's Gridiron and Fans Hobby. Like I said, we've got development progress going on with the Chenoweth kind of inspired VE03, and we have, like, basically, probably you could order it right now and probably get it very soon, the Shadow Hound, the Jungle Hound, and the Arctic Hound. Release the hounds indeed. They have gone full force, you could say, with their release schedule on Awe Strikers. Anyway, that is
how long before the official Awe Striker is out? Do we know?
We don't actually know. I'm assuming it's going to be like around Yojo June time. I'm assuming that's when we'll see anything about that. But effectively, it could be any time in 2025. It could be the middle of the year, towards the end of the year. I suppose it depends on how they're getting on development wise. But yeah, it's going to be 2025, but just don't know when, really.
Okay.
But who knows? Next up then, and I believe, are we doing OCGAMES next? I think we are doing OCGAMES next.
Yes, we are.
Pat knows. I don't, because I can't actually see it with my tiny screen thing that it shows me. But yes, we're looking. Well, a quick brief chat, we'll say, on OCGAMES, because let's do it. This is smooth segues. OCGAMES looks set for success with their very popular crowdfunder G.I. Joe Operation Cobra board game, which has absolutely obliterated their initial funding goal. Now, this is one of those really interesting things for me, Pat, where you've got Renegade Studios, right, who are pushing out games and what have you. You've got, like in certain crowdfunder scenarios, you've got like the, you've got Skybound Comics who are doing the Lord's work at the moment, like incredible amounts of comics and cool and just really good quality stuff across the board. Media for Joe is looking really good, like external media is looking really good. Then a game like this comes along, which we didn't dismiss, but we were very much like, how does this work or fit in with, when we talked about this first, there was like an element of like, how is this going to work? How is this going to have an audience or what have you?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, I kind of have a similar feeling with this as I did with the Skybound Compendium situation.
Yeah.
How that hit 4 million still blows my mind to this day.
Same here. That's the exact same feeling I had. Actually, I think whenever we had initially looked at this, I signed up for the email.
Yeah.
And I did receive an email from them, but it was too late to have signed up to have gotten like the early bird figure.
Right. Yeah, it was Storm Shadow, wasn't it? I think.
I thought it was it Storm Shadow or was it Beachhead?
Beachhead. It was Beachhead. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
I think it was Beachhead. So I looked at it and I was like, I cannot believe how far past the goal they already are as well. Like, and I think I sent you a message and I said, how popular is G.I. Joe? Because I really have no idea.
It's so funny, isn't it? I feel like we've been in a bubble for so long, we forget like there's more of it out there, more fandom than we could ever imagine, because 554% funded. The initial funding goal was 100,000, which I thought was, they might be able to get that. Yeah, they have got that. $554,781 with 10 days left is astonishing to me. This, like, I don't know, the game looks kind of cool. Like the little I think the models are selling it for a lot of people. Like the little
yeah.
They're so good. There's like, I mean, we can have a look here at obviously the Storm Shadow one. Here looks amazing. Looks really good. I mean, there's elements I think of sort of like classic mixed with sort of classified going on with the entire range, not just with Storm Shadow. I mean, Storm Shadow looks like Storm Shadow. There's you know, it's hard to say if it's a classified thing or not, but there's a lot of sort of elements when you look at some of the others where there's a heavy classified theme, and it's obvious that they've been digging into or been told by Hasbro as well, getting the, because this is official with licensed by Hasbro, so they've obviously been digging into the materials of the evergreen classified designs, if you know what I'm saying. But you know, we've also got like Flint is very clearly classified. Falcon looks like like it doesn't look like the classified version because his head sculpt's good, and and Road Pig looks like there's an element of classified in there with that shoulder piece kind of skull thing. So yeah, do you think there's an element of that? Do you think it's kind of like reaching people who like these kind of like miniatures?
I think for sure that's a big part of it. You can actually try out the game because there's a link on there that if you have Steam, there's some sort of game demo. You can just go on Steam and check it out. So
that's cool.
I was thinking that it probably was all the miniatures and pretty much, you know, only the miniatures selling the game until I looked through and I saw, oh no, you actually can kind of check out the gameplay. So maybe some people really are enjoying it for that. I mean, tabletop gaming is popular again, so that's a benefit. But
yeah,
I think it may come down a lot to these miniatures helping them sell.
They are pretty cool. I'm just
there's a lot of them. Like
there's a ton, yeah,
as the stretch goals, but
yeah, there's loads.
There's like
Duke, Scarlet, Snake, yeah,
then on top of the game, there's also expansions that you can buy that include like there's a set that has, isn't it one set that has Baroness Destro and then the Iron Grenadiers as well? And they all look classified.
Yeah, it's heavily classified influenced, all of the miniatures for sure. It's so that even Firefly's a classified design.
Yeah, I get feeling like they may have been sent some 3D assets from Hasbro that they are choosing what to go through and what to use.
Some really good stuff. Honestly, it's really cool. Sorry, a lot of people in the chat were saying it was Bazooka, which was the early bird. I believe that was correct. Lone and
Jim. Yeah, that's correct. It's Bazooka.
Thank you, guys. 2 new heroes in Rock and Roll and Gung Ho. 2 new villains, the Baroness Destro and the Iron Grenadiers. Yeah, that's it. Crimson Guard as well. There's so much. Like, you scroll that page, I'm still scrolling. I've been scrolling this entire time, and I'm not even near the bottom. There's so much to this game, and I think that's another aspect of it. All of this, like, you know, if you go all in, then you're going to get a lot of stuff, and I think that's another thing that a lot of people are, like, you know, probably drawn towards. And it's already this is one of those ones where you're easily going to go, you know, you're easily going to what was I can't even remember what I was going to say then. Sorry, I got
if you go all in, you're easily going to have a ton of stuff.
That's based, yeah, it's nuts, like, because it's already funded, so it's already done, so you know you're going to get everything as well. What is interesting as well, it's a huge amount of money based on what they wanted initially. 2004 backers. So that's when you look at that and you go, okay, it's actually not that mind-blowing, because you kind of think, yeah, I could see 2,000 Joe fans wanting to get in on this. I could see 2,000, like a mixture of Joe fans, gaming fans that have that sort of like loose connection to Joe. I could see that being a thing. I think it's like, I still don't understand the 4 million Skybound Kickstarter. That still blows my mind.
That blows my mind, but I mean, whenever I think about how many, like, if you were just to say what percent of Joe fans are going to want a tabletop game, it's not going to be an overwhelming percentage of them.
No,
it's going to be, there's going to be a large percentage for comics, and there's going to be a large percentage for toys.
Yeah.
but for just a tabletop game or even a video game, not as many, I don't think.
No,
because that's not what G.I. Joe has been. So for it to be this big, I just have to sit and think, well, how big is the G.I. Joe community now? It must be way bigger than I thought it was.
I mean, I think it is. I just think it is big. Again, we're in like not even say a bubble, but it's just, I guess it's just like it's a difficult thing, isn't it? Because what is a fan at the end of the day? I suppose it's someone who kind of like not engages, but like, I suppose engage is the right way. Their brain engages with the things that are around them at the moment within the vicinity.
And maybe maybe just the desire to revisit it at all counts you as a fan.
Exactly. Yeah, like the as a kid sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Some Crop Stars asked, is it an actual game or Steam game? It's a tabletop game, but I believe it's a demo that's on Steam, as in it's a demonstration of the actual game in play. I don't know. And also it may even be a thing where you can kind of sort of interact with it. I just don't know how they've done that on Steam because I haven't downloaded it or looked at it, unfortunately. But in any case, it's really interesting to me, this whole thing, because again, it might just be the fact, it might be just our bias where we're like maybe not 100% into the gaming sort of arena. But that doesn't mean that, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard for me to get my head around sometimes. Like, I didn't necessarily need to jump in on the Skybound Kickstarter. I didn't need the compendiums because I feel like I've got the comics in so many different ways that I didn't feel necessary. It was a necessity. And yet to see it do so amazingly well, which I'm really happy it did, made me kind of go like, yeah, like in some cases, my wants and needs are not the same as maybe the masses. And so that was just, you know, one of those examples of that happening and me just being mind blown. But at the same time, you know, just because that wasn't something that was prominent necessarily to me or a necessity for me. And it's similar with this. I look at this and I go like, I've got loads of board games that I haven't played yet from Renegade, and I can't wait. I want to do the card games. I want to do like all of that, the RPGs. And then this comes along and I'm like, this is effectively in Renegade Game Studios' wheelhouse. Why, you know, it feels like the same thing. So I don't, you know, necessarily, I don't need it. And yet 2,000 and something people do. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I'm still a little unimpressed with the title of the game.
Oh yeah, this is the most basic name for a G.I. Joe thing ever, isn't it? And just for those that don't know, it's G.I. Joe Operation Cobra. That's like I'm trying to think of another example of how funny that could be.
Fight Shredder. You know?
They kind of had Shredder's revenge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's like, it is so...
Yeah, but even that, like, if it was Cobra's Revenge...
Yeah.
You know, like, just Operation Cobra. Operation anything seems to be a G.I. Joe title.
Oh, they love their operations, don't they?
But then usually it's something more unique.
Blackout?
To that title, right?
Yeah.
Like Operation Outer Space.
Operation Blackout.
Operation Outer Space. Operation Blackout.
Operation Blackout was such a kind of throw the deep cut fans off, because was Blackout going to be in this? No, it's got nothing to do with Blackout. It's
right.
It's like the lights have gone out, basically. Amazing. Okay, cool. So let me know in the comments, guys, who is actually getting in on this in the comments. Who's actually pledged for this? I think some of you did say early on, but yeah, let us know in the comments, because I'd like to see who's jumped in on this, please and thank you. Anyway, Blitz says it's like generic brand groceries: bread, eggs, butter. It is, isn't it? Yeah, big time.
It is, yeah.
That sounds less than creative for the board game producers, says Figures. It does a little bit. But anyway, yes, Star Wars Empire Attacks, says SCS Talk. Yeah, all right. Anyway, we'll move on to the next story, which is actually, again, in sort of like peripheral G.I. Joe. It's G.I. Joe, obviously. And this time it's statue news. We've got a Flinty. Yeah, Yes, Iron Studios, because it's just a mixture now of all of the different irons and studios, and we've had Gridiron Studios, now we've got Iron Studios. Iron Studios reveal Flint statue, and I didn't change the text at the bottom of the thing for this, so we're looking at the fans hobby text on that, which is hilarious. Just ignore my mistake there.
Oops, yeah.
Whoopsie. Yes, Iron Studios have revealed their statue for Flint. Now, a while back, they revealed that they were going to be revealing. They revealed they were going to be revealing more statues in the GI Joe, in their little GI Joe statue brand thing. And we kind of looked at this one and said, it's got to be Flint. It has to be Flint. It was Flint. And of course, Baroness and Destro are coming as well. We'll look at those a little bit later on. But this one, what do you think of this? How do you think it's turned out? Are you a fan of this design? Take us through it, mate.
I think he looks good. I am actually kind of surprised at some of the detail that they've put into all, like, the whole thing.
It's beautiful.
There's a lot of small details in here. The shotgun's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah. Classified, isn't it? That's the classified shotgun.
Yeah.
Which I think, is a real surprising addition. The amount of, like, it's funny, the amount of, like, I suppose hate or like comments that happened when that shotgun was revealed. It's weird that they kind of put that one in there, but maybe it was one of those things where they looked at this and thought, that's looks a little bit softer than an actual shotgun. Maybe it looks a little bit more Nerf-like. I don't know. How do you think they even contemplated that? I mean, it's not really like a kid's thing, is it? The statues.
No, yeah. So I think they probably could have gone with the original shotgun if they wanted to, but the original shotgun, it's such an old looking, it's still a real shotgun, but at the same time, I don't know what's being shot at him, how much of a chance he has using that versus using whatever it is he has here. Also, and is this not a real? What is this based on? What is this the classified? Because I'm not a guns guy. What is the classified one based on?
Nothing. I think it was designed from the ground up. Yeah. If I'm It was nerfed, as they say, wasn't it? Basically, I think they kind of like nerfed it in sort of its like design elements, because it was around that time, wasn't it, where everything was sort of getting that a treatment where it was kind of taking the edge off real, like,
right.
Trying
to see what is that? Oh, that's okay. I was looking at his bandolier and thinking that it was coming out of the gun. It's like, what the heck is going on there? Do you know what I mean? Not the next shot, but the one after that.
That one.
It looked like it was coming out of the gun.
I see what you're saying. Like, almost like
what's going on there?
Yeah, that's just his other what do you call it? Is what they call them? I've completely forgotten. Things that hold your pants up.
Well, suspenders.
Suspenders. It's his ammo suspenders.
Yeah. Ammo suspenders.
Just lost all street credibility there.
That's what he needs, just shotgun shells to hold his pants up.
Yeah, who doesn't? I agree with you. I think the detail on this is phenomenal. I think it looks beautiful. It's not like, I think one of the things that kind of like takes me out, unfortunately, is the price. It is, I think, $199.99.
Oh wow, yeah. For me, it comes down to a lot of space too, and time, and just mental energy for things. If that even makes any sense. Like,
no, totally.
I have stuff coming in that I haven't had time to open.
Yeah, you want to put
buy more stuff that's expensive. It's just, what am I doing?
I agree with you. That element of like, you want to give it some like attention. You want to like focus on it a little bit and like look at it and enjoy it and have it out there. Yeah, when it comes to like just grabbing stuff and never opening it, it just seems pointless, doesn't it? So I'm kind of with you on that one. The smoke grenade is really cool touch as well. I love that. It's a really good sculpt too.
In these photos, it does look really good. I think that smoke is one of those things. We've seen a lot of effects pieces over the last 4 or 5 years as well through different toy lines. And I think that smoke is one of the ones that's difficult to get to look good.
Agreed. And the promo images make it look amazing. Who knows what it looks like in real life?
Right.
Got a Dreadnoks bit of graph on there, which is nice. Bit of Cobra on there. All the usual things. Kind of getting your bread and butter on a wall, aren't you? Basically, your groceries. And then here we see it's actually 7.6 inches in height, because I guess he's crouching where some of the others were like on a rock standing up a little bit. So there's going to be some height differentials, I think, between some of these statues. But obviously he's kind of crouching behind that wall. I will say, how much protection is he actually getting from that wall?
Not any. Hopefully he's not just sitting still hiding. This is the moment where he's peeking out to fire.
Right. You're hoping this is in motion, like he's going to swing around and start
or
firing
maybe he
back.
should have stayed ducked a little bit anyway.
Yeah, he should have waited at least for them to start reloading. Obviously, they've only just hit the wall with those hits. It's still really cool. I love it. I think it's a really good statue. It's awesome. When you break down what's actually going on, it's still very G.I. Joe. No one been able to hit a barn door with a cow's backside. That's not the saying,
Right.
I know. But they can't hit a cow's backside with a banjo. So yeah, it's interesting. Max says, if the flint figure detaches from the wall piece, it makes a great classified dio. Could be.
That's I have wondered that a lot whenever we see these statues, like especially the ones that come with pieces. What scale are they, and how much does the scale matter if the figure is removable? I would think that the thing that would give away the scale would be the canister, but there's some wiggle room there.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think usually with these statues there might be an element where there are two pieces that connect together, or you put like another element in another piece. Some of the Diamond Select statues that I've kind of unboxed and shown, they had multiple sections that you kind of connect together, and then like the figure would be on, like the feet would have maybe like two prongs sticking out, like a prong sticking out of it that would slide into the holes on the base kind of thing. So if they've done something like that, that would be really cool, because you could take the statue out and then you wouldn't have prongs sticking out, because they'd be in the figure, like the actual feet of the flint. So it'd be kind of cool actually if they could do that. Or you could just bust it off. You could just break it. Buy it for $200, rip flint off there, and you've got a perfect dio piece done, sorted, right?
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Waste that money. Anyway, there you go. That is available to order, or pre-order, I should say, in the links below. There is a $40, I think it's like a deposit that you put down on it, and then I think you're locked in then, but you have to know that it will be $199.99 in full eventually when it comes through. So they are expensive. They look gorgeous, but again, if you're a statue person, then fantastic. But if not, don't bother, right? That's pretty much the be all and end all of it. Then, of course, they did say the Iron Studios are growing their collection with more to come. This was a while back. And these are the other two that we are still yet to see, but I imagine we'll see them fairly soon. We've had Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow already. I imagine the Baroness will be next, because the Flint, they had them in this order. They had Flint, Baroness, and Destro in that order. So I imagine Baroness will pop up next, maybe around Yojo June-ish, and then maybe Destro will be saved for later in the year, and kind of makes sense as a little rollout. But yeah, are you excited to see the designs at least of these, Pat?
I am. Now that we see the environment that Flint is in, I'm wondering about the other two, because they always looked a little less in an environment than he did.
Yeah, you're totally right on that one.
Yeah, and I always like to see how people approach the Baroness, especially like I don't think she's just wearing like some skin tight single layer of clothing. That just never really makes sense to me for her. I saw a test shot recently of the one from the Snake Eyes movie, of the action figure, and seeing it in different colors, it was like, wow, there's a lot of layers going on there with that figure.
You lose a little bit, don't you, with the with that kind of black. When everything is that same black kind of color, you do lose a little bit of the texture and the detail and everything. Yeah, totally. And actually, that movie Baroness has got loads of detail in the sculpt. So it's actually pretty impressive. Do you think we will ever get Cartoon Lady J in the classified line? Asks GI Jetman. We've sort of had a retro Lady J with retro accessories already. and retro deco. But yeah, in terms of like a more classic vintage vibe, you never know, possibly. I don't think it's probably not high on the agenda though. That's the problem. There's so many characters and figures. I'm not 100% sure it's a necessity.
For the way that the retro carded one sat around and then went on clearance, like it was a $3 figure for a while around here. So yeah, I think that's going to have to. I mean, it's Lady J, so there's going to be a demand for her. I think that they just need to space out some time, since how badly that one peg warmed.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, well, this is the part of the show where Pat is going to fall asleep. So I'm sorry about that, Pat, but we've come to. We are going to delve into some listings changes for classifieds. So I'll do an explosion and we'll get right into it. Here we go. Stay with me, Pat. Stay with me. So in terms of the leak listings for 2025, you may have noticed a slight wiggle and move around on the left-hand side of the screen. Yes. Previously, and obviously the numbers haven't changed. The numbers.
I'm going to try to follow. I'm going to try to follow what you're saying. So don't like.
It's cool. So I'll explain it as if an alien has just landed. Okay. So if you look at the left-hand side column, we've got the greens. They've all done. We've got pre-orders locked in. Move on. Then of course we had the next wave of figures, which originally was supposed to be Snake Eyes, Sci-Fi, Monkey Wrench, and the Night Viper. But as we have seen very recently, a lot of like leaked images came out, and it kind of didn't make much sense that we were seeing some stuff from the later wave and some stuff from the earlier wave. It would appear as though Snake Eyes version 4, Monkey Wrench, Battle Armor Cobra Commander, and Major Blood have been shifted into a sort of makeshift wave of 4 retail figures. Okay, following? Cool. So that's just moved around a little bit, and it just means that Sci-Fi and the Night Viper, who were leaked a while back, move into that next phase of retail wave of 4. So that is effectively the change that's happened so far for you guys over there. The other thing, I haven't actually made this change, but I have a feeling that if we go over to the other side now, everything else has remained the same. So, you know, if you're up on the listings and, you know, everything that you can see on screen already, nothing has changed elsewhere. But if we go over to the other side, I haven't made any kind of like change on the graphic or anything, but I'm thinking now that L-Seed, TT-L-Seed, G1229, it says P for pulse, but I think that might be Fanmazon, because we have got TT designations that are also Fanmazon. Unfortunately, Pat, when a TT designation is used, or the tick in this case, it means it is a what's it called? An exclusive, but not Target or Walmart. So anything like Pulse, Fanmazon, Amazon, everything else gets lumped into that TT designation. So, and it isn't always the case, because they've thrown around some weird changes and all sorts as well, you'll see in there. So it's not an exact science, unfortunately. But I think L-Seed is a Fanmazon, and I think it is also the MMS with Colonel Hawk. It's my thought that might be what we're dealing with there, but we don't have full confirmation, so it hasn't changed on that actual listing. But that's my guess. If I were to be guessing, if I were to be making a speculative judgment, L-Seed is probably the MMS, because that was revealed very recently by the team, and it's the only one that really makes sense on the list, because the other ones either we know already or are different things, you know, descriptively. So the green shirt trooper is at the bottom, figure 6-pack. It's the retro scratch and sniff. That's the green shirt. G.I. Joe green shirt trooper is down the bottom. Scratch and sniff retro. It's a retro figure. So yeah, that is. Are you cool with that, Pat, so far?
Yeah, so yellow means that we just haven't had a pre-order yet.
Basically, yeah. Green's pre-order, yellow is leaked or officially announced, and red is we have no freaking clue at this particular stage.
Okay.
Cool. Then I'll move on. Any other questions that people have right now? I'll just check. Aaron says, I'd like to see them do a crossover with Gem and put Pizzazz in the line as a Dreadnought. Aaron, I'll tell you now, I talk about Gem with Lenny and Tony, and I'll be talking about that towards the end of this episode as well. But I have had that interview with the wonderful Lenny and Tony, and that will be going up next week, early next week, hopefully. But yeah, we'll get to more on that later. Stanley says Major Blood moved up. Yes, he did. It looks like that's the case for sure. Figure Six Pack says, anyone know of the slow distribution of classified dial tone? Anything happen? I think dial tone, unfortunately, is one of the ones that's been caught up in the delay thing that they mentioned back at NYCC last year. It's the only thing I can kind of think of really that's causing such a distribution issue for dial tone only. Which one is that? Oh, you've done that one. Nothing out of WonderCon yet, says Max. No, I don't think anything's going to be happening from WonderCon, personally. I don't think we'll see anything from WonderCon G.I. Joe related. That doesn't mean, back off or anything and don't check it out. Go check it. Keep checking it out, because if anything pops up, great. We'll do a news burst on it. But I don't think anything's happening out of WonderCon this particular year. Need Goth Zorana for Cold Slither? Yes, we do. And Stanley has asked, any WonderCon classified news? Same answer on that one, Stanley. Nothing yet, and I don't think they're actually going to be revealing anything officially from the con. Max says, hey Pat, the shipping update for Arctic Troopers from EE May 2026.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow. That's a bit far away, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a while.
I wonder if again that's part of any sort of like factory delay or something, and that they've had to be pushed down logistically for another run.
Yeah, I assumed you meant Arctic Bats. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's funny. I read Arctic Troopers, but I knew exactly what he was talking about. In my
Yeah,
brain,
no,
I think it said bats.
That's the one that I've been waiting on to hear what was going on with it, because I pre-ordered one along with everybody else, and then it just never shipped.
Damn, I can't believe we're still talking about Arctic Bats at this point, at this stage. Like almost, I don't even want to know how long it's been. Over a year, right?
Yeah.
Well over a year. Anyway, that's leaked listings for 2026, 2025. We also have an update for 2026. You guys ready to hold on to your hats? Bosh, 2026. You look at it and go, there's no changes there. That's true. It's because we're going to reveal the changes now. So quite interestingly, the standard retail wave of 4, have I just done this in one go? Yes, I have. Now, I'll do this. I'll go back again. There have been internal code word changes on some of the standard retail waves of 4. So T-Bone has become Tyrannus. You see that? Lieutenant Feral becomes Lieutenant Felina, which kind of makes sense because I think that might have been a mistake anyway, because we had a Commander Feral and a Lieutenant Feral. So it sort of didn't really make sense we had both. So I think Felina is just like just an error that has now been corrected. As you can also see down the bottom there, Metal Cap becomes Schlub and Hard Drive becomes Hippocampus. So I'll leave that on the left-hand side there. The internal code words have changed, nothing else, and we don't know what the hell they are still. So that really is all that's happened. Internal code words have changed on the left. On the right-hand side, we've got some changes and some additions.
What would be the reason why they would change the code names?
It's happened in the past. I don't know why, but we have in the past we have had internal code words change. Usually, though, it's because the theme has been changed overall. So do you remember Flint and Jay? They went from like whatever the bugs and stuff they were doing initially, they went from those sort of names to Meteor and Comet and stuff like that. So they went to kind of more astrological names. So we did have internal code word changes in the past. Although it's odd and certainly I don't think it's new. I think if I go back, I might be able to find some more that have changed in the past, but it would take a lot of research. But in this case, they're staying with the theme and just changing the internal code word. So it's very weird. I don't know why, because there's no real reason other than to maybe keep us on our toes. I don't know. I don't know if it's done as a like they're doing it on purpose just to mess with us, maybe. But I don't know. So anyway, retail waves of 4 have changed. Now, I'll go on the right-hand side. We now know that MD Droopy is a Target exclusive. We know that JJ Jaina is a Walmart exclusive. We know that JQ Johnny and JQ Haji Vehicle are Fanmazen. And we know Jesse Deluxe is a Pulse exclusive. So in terms of what the designations do in terms of like, you know, what do they mean? It looks like MD means Target. JJ, Jaina of the Jungle, means Walmart. JQ, Johnny Quest, is like the TT from last year. It's like any other exclusive, Fanmazen, Pulse, what have you. But then other changes have happened. I'm going to go back again just to really annoy everybody. But BM Bird Boy and BM Bird Man have both changed to BB Rudy Deluxe and BB Bob Pet. The numbers are the same, so that's all. They've just changed the internal code word. BB is a carryover from last year. That meant like the standard deluxe and the standard figure and pet. So you can get them. They're mainline, basically. Mainline figure and pet, mainline deluxe. So yeah, hopefully that is easy to follow. My God, I'm actually confusing myself right now. And then the additions to the listings, the new listings we have are 3 retro listings: DL Dexter, DL DD, and DL Mandark. There you go.
Okay.
That is like listings that have leaked that are out there now, and there you go. That's all. That's what we can find and what has happened. If anything else changes, we'll let you know. And if we unlock any of these through whatever means, like we have in the past, we will also let you know. But at least they're in like the 2026. A few people were like, "How come there are less listings than 2025?" It's because it's early. And also because we don't, you know, if you go back to the whole like development of 2025 and the way we were getting listings and finding listings and they were leaking left, right, and center, it didn't start off that full page of listings. It grew in the same way that 2026 is right now. So lots and lots of, if you're keeping a spreadsheet, all I'll say is there you go. You can look at that screen for a little bit and follow along. So Pat, how do you feel after that?
I appreciate you keeping me up to date on this stuff, but I have a feeling that there's a day coming where I'm going to want to know lists, and I'm going to be like, can you just send me a guide of what TT and PP and R and BB and all this, like what all it means, because it gets to be a lot to sift through in order to find out nothing.
That is such a good point. So I definitely keep on top of whatever listings kind of pop out if they appear on like you know, like a retailer kind of thing, like a Target or whatever, or if they show up on like Walmart system or wherever it is, if they show up or they kind of like sneak out there or leak out there in whatever way, we try and keep on top of it. Obviously the listings don't tell us anything a lot of the time. They'll just be, all they'll do is they'll tell you like a price point, or they'll tell you a, you know, like what, like format, like Target or Walmart or what have you. So that, like I said, it's very rare that you'll get anything that really gives you you know, any idea of what they are. And then when we do get that, it's exciting because it unlocks it. You know, you can kind of cross-reference some stuff, and you become like a detective on this stuff. And I that's what I really excites me. So I keep it organized and I keep it like on top of it, so that when we get any information down the road that's like, this fits this, it's got the same number, bosh, boink, we're done. It's just really exciting for me. Is that sad? It's sad, I know, but
no, I think it's cool that you're doing it. I just have a lot of trouble getting into like, oh man, I can't wait until Rudy comes out. You know what I mean?
Mate, I feel you. If you're like, I would prefer this was one of those things where everything here was yellow. You know, like we just knew what it all was. We knew what was coming. You could be excited for what's coming, but there's that also that element, I think, of, you know, you kind of want to be surprised as well. It's a weird dichotomy, isn't it, really?
Sure. I mean, it gives marketers more control over the reveal of things, because a lot of times if we were looking at 2026 listings and it said something like the name of a character, and then everybody just had in their head what it was going to be, and then it wasn't that. There's disappointment for them to deal with.
Oh, there's so much of that, mate. I've been doing that constantly. So you'll see like one will come through, and you'll just be like, you know, it might be a description or something, and you're just like, okay, I think I know what that is. But then you lock it in your mind, and then it's like it's not that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
The element of disappointment hits you a little bit because you were expecting something else. So Stanley says, yes, add a listings key to the bottom of the slide. I will do that, Stanley. Actually, yeah, that's probably a good shout.
The really problem would be useful. I've asked for that before.
The problem is it changes. That's the thing that bugs me. If you go back to 2025, originally it was TT Goliath vehicle and TT Kyle. And then they changed to SP and GG, but that meant Target and Walmart. But we know that those two particular ones are not Target and Walmart. So it just like, in the end, you're just like, the key wouldn't mean anything. What I might do, and what I could probably do, is just say exclusive equals and then SP, GG, TT, maybe. You know, like maybe that would be worth it for people.
Was TT and SP, were those used all the way back in like 2022?
No.
Okay.
They change. Well, if you look, SP for Target, right, is now MD. Sorry, is now MD for Target. So they changed that all the time.
You make a key that just says SP, MD, whatever equals Target,
because that would pull in SP Kyle, which is not Target. So it would be incorrect. I know, isn't it a pain? So one thing I will say, though, is I know you're asking for a key, but I've actually put them all in there technically in the places anyway. So SK or SS in this case, it's a retail waiver 4 figure, and it's got SS next to it. Deluxe and Legacy, pretty basic. You know, that's what they are.
Maybe I'm asking for it to be too split. I was just wondering, would you be able to split the exclusive section into which store they're from, and then a miscellaneous exclusives?
Yes, I think that is definitely something I will. I can definitely do. I think what happens is, Pat, do you know what this? You're going to laugh at this. It's that I'm trying to like make it so that it makes sense on both pages, like lines up and looks okay.
Yeah.
And then when I start doing that, it means I have to rearrange things.
Yeah,
and it's like, but what I could do is maybe have Deluxe Legacy and Retro Classified switch around so that I can create a bit more space on the right hand side,
or maybe just put like Target with a question mark after the name of the thing, like to indicate in the exclusive section. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So again, that's what the T.
Visual, yeah,
that's what the T means in brackets.
So you've added the T.
Yeah, and then you W at the end, and then F means Fanmazon, and then so it's there. It's just not very visually appealing to people. That like, I totally understand. It's not the most visually appealing thing ever. Because I'll work on it.
The letter T feels like something that they would have put in there, and then I get confused.
Yeah, it means take the piss out of Pat is what it means.
I really should have been making just a list of all the figures and a list of all the code names and the item numbers and everything, just for posterity's sake. I should have been doing that already.
The funny thing is, I would have done a spreadsheet, but then obviously we have to I do like this kind of thing for the show, and then it's like it needs to be sort of like somewhat visually appealing, or somewhat visually interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definite work to be done on my leak listings presentation.
You think it'd be fun just to have a show where you look through spreadsheets every week?
We kind of do that. I just do it with the background, with a different background. That's so funny. Anyway, Sharp says I should have a spreadsheet. Yeah, you should. Cropstar says no. I go by your listings. I value this SHT. Actually, you are more reliable than Hasbro itself. I appreciate that. Thank you. Based on the numbers, figure 200 this year or next, that is crazy. It is, isn't it, Max? It is very crazy. Barking Fridge says, what if Hasbro did an opposites code name? For example, Flint was actually Tiger Force Lady J, Destro was Lightfoot, and so on. You could only do it one. Well, yeah, I know what you mean. Like just completely.
If their code names were G.I. Joe names. Yeah.
This might be why they had to change hippocampus from hard drive. Maybe they thought hard drive's an actual character name. Maybe
it is. Yeah.
I don't know. That's funny though.
Maybe it actually is hippocampus. That's the real name of the character that's coming
Yeah.
out.
Do you remember that? The wolf, was it Wolf Spider? Wolf Spider Varma.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
We thought Wolf Spider was just a code name. And then it was a code name.
We thought it was an internal name because it was that Path Wolf Spider Varma thing. And it was like, what is that? What theme is that? It was the actual full name. It was the full name. Anyway, hilarious stuff. Let's look at the official name-only reveals that are out there already. We've got Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer 2-pack. We also Emily hinted that we've also got the other Renegades coming. We've got Red Dog and Taurus. She said it, so I could probably put that on here too at some point. And I assume it would be a 2-pack because they said Sarge and Mercer were going to be. So
yeah,
there you go. Monkey Wrench, Battle Armor, Cobra Commander, and Major Blood, of course. And we know that those three have now moved up. Or Monkey Wrench is already in that group, but we know Battle Armor, Cobra Commander, and Major Blood have moved up with Snake Eyes version 4, who is a digital render. The Ore Striker as well. The MMS with Colonel Hawk. Retro Green Shirt. And then we've got Slice and Dice, Cold Slither, and Retro Bat. There you go. Mark says, how closely are the figure numbers tracking to release order? Are there any odd gaps? Only in what I just updated with, Mark. Most of the time well, actually that isn't true either. The numbers don't usually mean much of anything either. Obviously they maybe put them in like a line plan, and then that line plan gets moved around a lot, I guess, is what happens.
Yeah, but like I see what he's saying. Like, for example, Monkey Wrench is number 75, then Battle Armor Commander is number 77.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
What happened to number 76 is Night Viper. So,
yeah, that's what happens, right? We had them in order before, so they were in like a number order before, and then when they moved those around, that's what happened. It muddled the number order. If you're talking about the figure numbers on the boxes, then that's all over the place. Like that is literally like, you know, sometimes we've got a gap for about a year, and then it's filled in by the finally they've released something that should have been out beforehand. But if you're talking about the numbers on the spreadsheet, like the actual the G numbers, which makes no sense, does it? Then that is effectively, you meant box numbers. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, that's a crapshoot, mate. Because it just, when they move things around, they don't change the figure box number by all accounts. So we might end up, that wave it might be in order. I don't know, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too. I mean, there was that one spot where we were waiting for a long time for some of the numbers to be back placed, and we've kind of stopped even talking about those.
Right. That'd be one to actually look out for. Actually, when that wave comes through, what will the box numbers be? Is quite an interesting one. Maybe they move it around and they're not too far along in packaging and they can just change that. I don't know. But who knows? And yeah, retro cards and legacy don't have numbers on them, so that's easy. But like in terms of the in terms of the mainline stuff, yeah, that is very much numbered. Anyway, my goodness, that yeah, I feel like I've just done like a TED talk, and it wasn't a good one. That's what I feel like.
Now we kind of needed you've kind of rinsed through this on the weeklies anyway. You've talked about it on your lives, but not really with me to make me follow along. So it helps to talk about this stuff.
Coolsies. Okay, well there you go. We've done it. We've got there, and now we've got some shout outs to do, Pat. So let's get into that, and oddly bring this episode to possibly an early finish. This is like,
I don't know how that's happening.
How does that happen? It makes no sense, like listings. Our show is literally makes no sense. Go on then, Pat. Go for it, mate.
Shout out to Philip, as always. We definitely have an episode coming up here in the next day or two, I think. Sometime before the end of the month. It's done, so it's just a matter of getting it online.
Is it though? No, I can't wait. Get it out there.
Never done.
No, because Captain Perfectionist over here. Is it when Phil does the edits? Is he as like meticulous as you are? I imagine he is.
He is. Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. You're like the two worst people to have in charge of editing anything, aren't you? Because you just like, it's like 3 months later, and you're just like, I just want to get that little bit right there.
It's hard. It's hard to. If it wasn't for us doing these things monthly, it would feel like there's no deadline, and I wouldn't get it done.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I can't wait to see what you've got planned for us next. And yeah, shout out to Phil and Articulated Points. Link in the description. Go sub. Go check him out. And go enjoy. Who's Earl E Finish, says Chucky Tinderbin. Amazing. Love it. Well, shout out to Brian Sauer, of course, for our wonderful graphics. We've got a rebrand coming in the summer. So for Yojo June, we're getting a massive rebrand. So we're working on that. It's going to be fun. Lots of new visuals and animations and music and all sorts. It's going to be fun and cool and amazing. So yeah, look out for that in June. Anyway, massive shout out to Brian, and of course also for Assembly Required 14th and 15th. There's a little bit of an update as well we've got for you. So we've got some updates for you as of this week. What is he saying? We've been at a steady march all March long, getting ready for our upcoming events. The biggest and most ambitious item on our radar, Assembly Required 25. This is shaping up to be our biggest show yet, with the addition of new fan interaction activities that will put you in command of helping to drive decisions around themes, exclusive merchandise, and more. Plus, we're building a guest list featuring some familiar faces along with a few exciting new ones. Dates to know: vendor floor is open and taking reservations at codenameiowa.com. On the 15th, discounted hotel rooms go live, and on the 21st, new intel on our first fan activity drops. That's April, by the way, April 15th and April 21st. So we'll get some updates later in the month. Excited for that. Excited for Assembly Required again. It's my favorite show, and I think it's an absolute beauty. It's always like something I look forward to on the old calendar there. Pat, are you in the same crew there?
Yeah, I always enjoy Assembly Required. It's getting together with friends, so it's fun.
And me.
You'd be counted in with the friends.
Getting together with friends and Chris. No, that's hilarious. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be awesome, and it's always a good vibe. It's just a beautiful, beautiful show. That's in Des Moines, Iowa, by the way. Also, as always, Battle Action Force Treasury Editions, please and thank you. Get involved. TotalToyBooks.com and, of course, SKELETRON.com as well. They're amazing. I finished book 1 very recently, started book 2. I've read them before, of course, but there's some that I have got very little recollection of. So it's almost like reading things for the first time, which is amazing. They're great. And also related to Brian Hickey and Total Toy Books, Star Wars Toys The Palatoy Saga is in its last hours, I believe. And
24 hours to go.
That's crazy, isn't it? And they are already like well away. They've unlocked the hardcover. We've got, I think, this particular unlock at 56,500 euros as well is
they're at 55,674 right now.
It's getting there. It's
really close. Yeah, this one's going to unlock, I think.
Although that's in dollars. I'll just.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm looking at dollars, not pounds.
Or euros in this case.
Or euros.
So
5674. And it says, yeah, I don't know what that unlocks at. I'm confused.
Yeah, lots of confusion on that one actually. But again, that is the next unlock, and very again amazing.
It's pretty close either way.
It's the it's the book plate, isn't it? Basically, no, it's the bespoke telescoping slipcase. So it's the slipcase that we're looking at on there. I really hope they make that, because they've already unlocked the premium hardcover edition. Okay, they've unlocked the expanded universe. It is literally the bespoke telescoping slipcase, and following that, there's one at 70,500, which is the enhanced print finish exceptional craftsmanship. That's the last stretch goal on there, so hopefully they can make it happen.
So it looks like that's about 5,000 more euros to go.
Amazing. I think it's doable. 24 hours. This is the big.
I think it's doable.
This is the big spike, guys. Get involved.
There's still a lot in there. You're still getting the book and everything regardless, and it's the thicker book because they hit the stretch goal of more pages already.
Yeah, you're already really good on this one. So yeah, you're going to be looked after if you've pledged already for this one. I went in early bird on this one. I was really happy because it's a bloody good price on that one. So yeah, really excited for him, and Total Toy Books and Paddy and Brian as well. Amazing stuff. Also, RoboSkull Mark IIs available now at skeletron.com, and a little update from Skeletron as well. They posted images of the 6-inch Wolf Trooper here, shown in multiple poses, with the blaster and a little blast effect as well, which is really cool. Looks amazing. It's not the final product, but it looks phenomenal already so far. Another shot of the Wolf Trooper on the left and Red Weasel on the right there as well. So these figures are looking absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get the 6-inch figures with these, honestly. And then, of course, we also have Bob Bloody Breakin, Blood Wolf. So good. And again, factory test sample, not final, but looking really good. I'm so happy with Bob's head sculpt.
Yeah,
it's so
good.
He looks too angry though. Bob's such a lovely guy, and like I don't think I've ever seen him pull a face like that in his entire life. But it's so good. Yeah, I mean, what an amazing like homage to get Bob's head sculpt on a figure in the Mark II like RoboSkull. It's just unreal. I can't believe it. Brilliant. Yeah. Any thoughts on those figures, Pat? Enjoying them?
I do. Yeah, I'm sure that I'll have these in hand before too long. I think, right?
Yeah. Well, let's hope so. It's the last bit of the Kickstarter, isn't it? Which is just like unfortunately taking the longest time. But yeah, hopefully it is soon. Because yeah, I want these so bad. And we've also got like the 6-inch Skeletron figure, and like there's so many other things as well that we've got to come. I mean, we've already got an amazing collection of O-ring modern 4-inch figures for this line already. Like it's like I feel like that collection is really stacked, and it's just the 6-inch figures that we've still got to come. But anyway, looking forward to it. They look great, lovely stuff. And also, Kickley has been going absolutely nuts recently. We've kind of restarted the Kickley gallery, haven't we, a little bit with the last couple of weeks. And now we've got 3 of the blooming images to check out. Thoughts on these, Pat?
I think it's interesting that he made the visor on Snake Eyes red. It kind of blends in like Snake Eyes version 4 with version 1. It looks cool. I like it. There's a lot of detail in these.
It's neat, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a mixture of versions of Snake Eyes for sure. It kind of looks like that. It's like that Ultimate Snake Eyes sort of Retaliation. Is it around that time?
And I like the jacket on Stalker.
Yeah, that's a nice look. It's kind of like it gives him a different vibe, doesn't it? Like he's fully dressed as opposed to sort of a bit naked, which his original version sort of gives me that vibe sometimes. But yeah, the jacket looks good, and Scarlet's a little bit more tactical. Just on her knees, really. She's got her knees have become more tactical, and everything else is still impractical. But yeah, brilliant stuff. Excellent work as always by Kickley. We love his work here. And of course, just a reminder that the Lenny and Tony redacted interview should be going up early next week. Just obviously have to get the thing edited, and then I have to run it through Hasbro approvals to get that sorted. So with that said, look out for that. It should be fun and awesome. I had a blast with those guys, as we always do. That brings us to the end of another weekly episode, Pat, and in record time.
It is a record, yeah. We haven't been done by 11:30 in a long time.
No, we have not. We'll probably completely destroy that opportunity by talking for about an hour afterwards and making you late anyway. Anyway, thanks to all of you guys in the chat. Thanks to all our viewers, listeners, and of course to our patrons. I'll be speaking with you guys tomorrow as well on the Patreon Q&A. I will see you then, and if not, I'll see you early next week. If there's any news burst stuff, obviously we'll do it. It was a pretty didn't really get to do many news bursts this week, which is very rare for me, The week before that, it was doing about 2 a day. So we'll see how it goes. Chase has asked, just before we go, what happened to the Cobra Claw? It was teased ages ago. Then Snake Armor comes out. Chase, it's coming very soon. Lenny and Tony talk about it as well on the interview. So you'll get to listen a little bit about the claw on there as well. Okay, that's it. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, I think you know what to do. 1, 2, 3.
Full force.
Laters. Bye. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.